New reports show hate crimes in England and Wales have increased by 26% in the last year, but it seems police are only persecuting a tiny proportion of these crimes. The increase in reported hate crimes is the largest it has been in 5 years, but stats on unsolved misdemeanors is sitting at around 8% of recorded offences. With me now is Mike Neville, former Detective Chief Inspector. Mike, thanks for joining us. What is a hate crime?
Well, it's any crime which is motivated against somebody by a different race, their religion, their disability, etc., etc. So true hate crimes are very wicked crimes. But of course, what we've got to take into account is that the problem with this the police face is that we see all sorts of things reported as hate crimes. People putting memes on Facebook or something like that. The case of Harry Miller was taken to court for putting a poem on Twitter. And somehow the police have got to fish out what is the real dangerous crimes and what really are nonsense and spats between individuals.
I argue that it's difficult for hate to ever be a crime unless it's inciting violence against somebody, because these days it seems like everyone belongs to a marginalised group, and if the whole point of hate crime is to protect a marginalised group and everyone is part of a marginalised group, then how do you balance which group needs protection more than others?
I'm absolutely with you on this, Calvin. And the difficulty is, of course, is that people realise is that they say it's a hate crime, they're more likely to get a better service from the police. So the more average you are, the more ordinary you are, that if you've got no sort of card to play, me, for example, as a white heterosexual man, I've got no cards to play. And some people will cynically use that. But of course, if there is real hate crimes, say targeting Jewish people or whatever, these are with violence or vandalism or that sort of thing, this has got to be sorted out. But the police are distracted by their attempts to appear woke and policing the most petty of spats that you will get, as we've seen recently.
You mentioned Harry Miller, a good case to talk about there, but also Caroline Farrow this week has had the police clamping down on her in what looks like tyranny for her thoughts and words, if they were even her thoughts and words. How is it that we see almost a two-tier policing when it comes to hate crimes, as in certain demographics are targeted more than others?
Well, it just seems to me that the police are they've been desperate to appear as politically correct as they can. I mean, fortunately, no, I think we've got the first Conservative Home Secretary in a dozen years who is now telling the police to focus on burglary and things that impact on everybody, whether they're male or female, black or white, gay or straight. But the police have gone through decades now of senior officers having to show how, as I say, politically correct, woke they are to get promoted. And this filters down to the junior officers. And we see the incident like in Surrey where the lady was, on a Sunday afternoon. What are the police busying themselves on a Sunday afternoon with somebody who they know where she lives, who's allegedly put something on Facebook? It could have been dealt with in a far better manner than arresting her in front of her children while there's 3% of burglaries being solved in the same county.
Absolutely. And should the police be getting involved in, for example, Pride Parade? Should they have rainbow flags on them? Should they be twerking at Notting Hill Carnival? Should they be taking a knee at Black Lives Matter? Should all this be happening, Mike?
Calvin, absolutely not. The police must be absolutely apolitical. They must be impartial. What message does it send? Let's say there's a violent dispute between some gay rights activists or a Catholic priest or an imam, and the police officer turns up wearing a rainbow badge. What does that say? It doesn't say, I'm going to be impartial and deal with this incident. Taking the knee, it just sends all the wrong messages.
Absolutely.
Luckily, we've now seemed to have a Home Secretary who's getting a grip of this.
Hear, hear. Thank you. That was Mike Neville, former Detective Chief Inspector. Thank you very much.